Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. Thanks for coming on, everybody. I'm Jeremy with Lifted Adventures. This is Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour, where I interview mountain bikers, YouTubers that mountain bike, and anybody that wants to talk about mountain biking. So, having fun today. I got a pretty cool, if you've seen my post, a pretty cool Canadian on with me. Why don't you introduce yourself, buddy? How you doing?
Not too bad. It's Jeff here at Toogy Howser MTB YouTube channel. Like you said, up here in Ontario, Canada. Just starting the summer off riding.
That's awesome. Now, I've forgotten people's names before, but I forgot to ask you. I know Toogy Howser, and I've talked to you, and it's your name's Jeff.
Yes.
And I had that awkward moment right there for a moment, like, oh crap, I don't remember if I should call him Jeff or if I call him Toogie if he doesn't want people to know his
Yeah.
secret identity and all this kind of stuff. So now I know how you came up with Toogie Howser, but tell the people out there, how'd you come up with that Toogie Howser? It makes me want to get pickled eggs. I don't know if you remember pickled eggs, but
I don't actually.
okay.
Was that one of the episodes or
Well,
something
no,
on
it was
the?
at the beginning of. Okay, so first, go ahead and
Oh,
tell why.
yeah. So basically, my nickname all through high school was Toogie, and then it just kind of Toogie, and then my girlfriend sort of just threw out Toogie Howser once,
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of a cool play on the Doogie Howser
yeah.
MD, so Toogie Howser MTV.
Okay, so Doogie
Yeah.
Howser, if you go back and watch at the beginning of like the starts of his shows, he would
Okay.
be in his room. I guess it's in his room or whatever, and he'd reach up on the shelf and pull down a jar, and it was pickled eggs. I'm
Right.
now I haven't seen it since the '90s, of course.
Yeah, I'd have to check that. I haven't seen it since then either.
Yeah, so I'd have to go and check again, but I'm not 100% positive. But I'm pretty sure it was pickled hard boiled eggs that he was doing. So I don't
So that's
know.
a sort of a weird thing to have on your shelf, though.
Yeah. I didn't even really think about that. That's extremely weird.
Yeah.
Um,
The weird thing about my name, the is if I ride with like younger guys that are like maybe in their early 20s or whatever,
yeah,
they have no idea what they don't get the reference.
they don't. Oh, of course, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure. Now, I hope I'm not buffering for everybody. I'm buffering on my end, so I apologize if I am, and you're only catching bits and pieces of it. But yes, I got Jeff here. This is Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. Um, Anybody that is on or shows up or anything like that, type your questions out in the comments over in the comment section or whatever. And if I'm talking, I will immediately go to your question and ask that question. Obviously, if Jeff is talking, I will not cut in front of him because that'd be extremely rude. But why don't you start off? Tell me a little bit about your channel.
Basically, I started when I got into back into mountain biking. I guess I sort of biked a little bit, like everybody does as a kid. But then as soon as I got my driver's license, I didn't ride my bike anymore. Got back into it 2018, and just thought I'd document sort of getting back into the sport from somebody in their 40s. Like I'm 45 now. So I got back into it at being 43 and basically learning everything, and thought it'd be kind of a cool angle to
Yeah.
have on the YouTube from somebody in their 40s just getting into mountain biking, because I think there's a lot of other people sort of in their 30s and 40s just getting into it. So I
Do
thought
you
that was kind of relatable.
do you find being that age it's a little harder to send or get your mental capacity to send some harder stuff or
For sure. I mean, I've
because I'm noticing that and I'm only 34 and small kids, but
right.
I notice it.
Yeah, I've definitely worked up to being able to send some bigger things, but it definitely plays on my mind because I know like I've kind of I've either broken my ribs or bruised my ribs a few times over the last couple of years, and it sucks. And
Oh,
I couldn't imagine anything worse than that. And like at my age, it just takes forever to get over injuries. So that is definitely on the back of my mind. But I've been trying lately. Like, my video next week, I'm probably sending some of the biggest jumps I've ever hit. Well, they are the biggest jumps I've ever hit in my life, and
isn't that an
I can't.
awesome feeling though?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Um, but I'm riding with people that are like 10, 20 years younger than me, and they're
yeah,
just full send, and
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, holy smokes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome. Like I hit my biggest drop a couple months ago, and that feeling of something that when you first started off, you're like, no, no, not doing that.
Yeah.
And at my age, I know I'm 10 years younger than you, or even more, but I still think about, I can't. I mean, I stand up and I'm, grunting,
Yeah.
making awkward noises that I made fun of my father for.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna jump off a cliff or big huge what
I
on
know.
my bike. That's crazy. Marty Richards is saying 40 is the new 30. I don't know if that makes it any better because I'm just over 30.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm sitting here listening to you say you're like 10 years younger than me, and I'm thinking, man, if I would have started when I was 35, man,
yeah,
I would have felt so much better than starting at
yeah,
45.
yeah, yeah. I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
So, well, first off, Marty's asking what bike is is it Toogy? So you say
Toogie, yeah.
Toogy. So Toogy.
Yes. Yes.
What bike are you riding after the Roscoe?
Yeah. Well, so basically, like, I have a lot of followers on my channel because of the Trek Roscoe. That's the bike that I
Uh huh.
started with 2 years ago, and
Okay.
it's kind of a good entry level sort of bike
It
to get
is.
into the sport.
Uh
And
huh.
I got a lot of people on the channel because of that. But I'm now riding Da Vinci. Um, got a like sort of a brand ambassador deal with them. So I have a Da Vinci Spartan full suspension and the Da Vinci Cobain hardtail
That's awesome.
that I'm riding this year.
Now Da Vinci's that's a Canadian. Where's Da Vinci? Where's Da
They're up
Vinci?
in Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And they're actually one of the only, I think they're actually the only company in Canada that actually makes some of their frames still uh, in Canada.
that's
Like
super cool.
there's other Canadian companies, but they just get their frames from wherever.
That's awesome. Now
Yeah.
you're in Ontario.
Yeah.
Do you speak any French? Because you're right there.
No.
And I'll be honest with everybody, all my viewers, anybody that's watching. When I was talking to him before this, I had to actually. I'm dual citizenship. I'm Canadian also, but live in Florida, and I have had no idea where Ontario, Canada was. I did not do good in geography, but it's right now next to Quebec, so you don't speak any French at all.
No, I mean, I'm still, you know, 6, 7 hours away from the border of Quebec.
Yeah,
So yeah, unless you're living in Quebec or right on the border of Quebec, you don't really need to be able to speak any French. I mean,
really.
it would be. Did I lose you there?
No, you're still there.
Oh, okay. It just kind of went weird there. Oh, there it is. Um, yeah, unless you're actually in a, like, I'm sure it would helpful if you're in a government position or whatever, but
Yeah.
most people just speak English.
That's crazy because like
Yeah.
when we here, we got. I mean, you go south. There's Spanish speaking all over the place.
Right.
Um, so you don't get any like overflow of that kind of stuff.
Not really. Like I said, in Ontario, it's pretty much unless you're like in Ottawa or one of the bordering
Yeah.
cities. Yeah, everybody speaks English. And even if you went to like some of the big cities in Quebec, like Montreal, most people there would you'd be fine speaking English there.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
How are the trails now? You're just north of you said Lake Erie, I think when I first talked to you,
Yeah.
right? Okay. How are the trails up there?
Kind of XC oriented for the most part. Like
Okay.
anything within sort of an hour of me is mainly XC. There might be odd, 20, 30-second descent. But to get to any lift access, anything decent, it's at least a 3 hour drive.
So
But
yeah.
I'm usually going down to the States,
Okay.
not not right now, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
How is things going up there with that? Is it kind of crazy?
It's
I try not to talk about it, but it's
yeah,
kind of obsolete. I mean, you kind of have to right now.
right. Yeah, it's not too bad right now. It's kind of seems to be somewhat under control and kind of uh, isolated around the Toronto area in
Okay.
Ontario.
Okay.
So that's still a couple hours east of me. So in the smaller areas like I'm in, it's pretty minimal right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Are they allowing you guys, are trails open and flowing and everything right now, or what?
Yeah, trails sort of opened a few weeks ago, and just keeping your distance sort of thing. And some of them are doing online booking to book like reserve a spot.
Okay.
And some more trails are supposed to be opening up next week. So yeah, it's starting to open up. Our one big lift access park, like the one that's 3 hours away, they actually kind of disappointed everybody because they just canceled the whole season three
Oh,
weeks 3 weeks ago. They just said no, we're not opening at all. Kind of felt like they kind of jumped the gun on that decision, but
yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot to consider, so it's hard for me to say, but I don't know. It seems like they jumped the gun a bit on that.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So, what would you put a pinpoint on your channel? What is your channel all about? What is Toogy Howser all about?
Like I said, I think sort of trying to show the progress from somebody in their 30s or 40s,
Yeah, yeah,
new
yeah.
to the sport, sort of learning as they go, trying to get better every week on the bike. I go through trying to challenge myself to do features that I'm not sure about, and
Yeah,
I think my viewers can relate to that for the most part.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
definitely not an amazing rider. I think I'm a lot better than I was 2 years ago, but
Of course, yeah.
uh, so I think that kind of people can see the growth in my skills and can kind of relate to that, and
Now,
that's
did you
sort of
start 2 years ago? Like, did you officially? You might have said, did you officially start mountain biking 2 years ago, or?
yeah, like sort of my whole mountain biking history. Like I bought, like I said, I rode when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
like BMXs, but it was mainly just transportation. It's not like I learned how to do anything cool on a BMX.
Yeah, yeah.
I just rode one.
Until you learn to
Uh,
drive, yeah.
yeah, pretty much. And then about 2008 or nine, I did buy a Trek mountain bike. It was like a $500 hardtail or something, with the intention then of getting into mountain biking. But it just kind of didn't happen for whatever reason. I had great intentions, but it just didn't happen, and it sat in the garage until 2017, and then I got divorced, and then I had way more time,
Yeah.
and so I picked up that old bike and rode it a little bit in the fall of 2017, and got instantly hooked, and then ordered the Trek Roscoe for you know the beginning of the 2018 season, and that's when I jumped right in
That's
to
awesome.
it. Yeah,
We got started, and is that when you started your channel? Like right
yeah,
after that?
pretty much.
I
Yeah,
think we probably started around the same time. That's totally
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
You were probably a little bit more ballsy than me,
Okay.
and people like that. So I'm down here in Florida riding some flat trails, and it's good
Yeah,
stuff to go to sleep with sometimes. So
I've definitely had my fair share of crashes, especially in my first year.
isn't
Uh,
that sad that that gets you the most views though?
yeah, for sure. Like knock on wood, I I haven't crashed in a while, like
Yeah.
anything really bad, and I swear there's some of my viewers out there just like waiting for it
Just
to
waiting
happen.
for it.
Yeah,
See, the only
yeah.
time I crash is I normally don't get it on video, or it's not
Oh, exactly.
not edit worthy for me to post it.
Yeah,
I crashed this past weekend, and I got a huge bruise. But like your crash, I crash, but it's not as bad as it used to.
right,
I feel like, and somebody else said it to me before. The more you crash, the better you get at crashing, and I'm
right,
seeing that. Like I I hit a root. Here in Florida, roots are. I mean, they jump out. Roots move.
right.
They're everywhere. So I hit a root and OTB'd, but somehow I flew and I came over, and I landed on my
Yeah.
feet, but I was pinned with the bar between my legs, and it pinned on my left leg, and now I got huge bruises from it. So, but I didn't wreck really,
Right.
but
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned not recording because I actually did crash. I'll call it a crash a couple of weeks ago because I've been experimenting riding clipless pedals
oh
um,
nope,
for my cross country riding that I do,
yeah, yeah,
and I did this just local loop that I've done 50 times before around a lake, and I did it clipless, and there's a creek crossing there, and I just got hung up on one of the rocks in the creek and
yeah.
forgot that I was clipped in.
Oh God,
I just couldn't get it the one out in time, and I literally like slow motion toppled
I have
right
never
into the creek.
I have never puckered so hard than being clipped in
Yeah,
and forgetting you're clipped in and trying to get out. Oh my gosh, that is the most. I hate that. You see, I only clip in. I don't clip in for. I flat pedal, and I
yeah,
have no intentions of ever going mountain biking, even cross country biking, clipped in. Just not my thing. But I'll clip in for my gravel bike and my road riding.
yeah, yeah,
But I did it just the other day. You pulled up to a stop and you try to lean right, but your body leans left, and you
yeah,
have to unclip really quickly. No,
yeah.
no,
I've just
won't
been
do it.
experimenting because I I've been riding my bike on the trainer with
Yeah,
clipless pedals,
yeah, yeah. Of
and
course.
and so I thought, well, and I've been riding it on the road like early in the season before
Hmm.
trails were ready. I was riding my hardtail on the
Yeah,
road with the clipless pedals, and then I thought, well, I'll just take it to the next step and I'll try some easy trails.
yeah. Are you
And
liking it?
it went fine the first two times. Uh, and then the third time, just out for a ride, wasn't recording. Like I said, just that slow motion
Uh,
crash right in the middle of a creek crossing.
That's hilarious. Did you get
Yeah.
wet? Did you fall?
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Totally soaked. Yeah.
And you kind of you're sad, you're upset, but you kind of regret not recording that. Just
I
for
know.
that.
I
That's
know.
awesome. Are you sticking to it, or are you going to keep doing it, or are you just testing it?
I I don't know for that kind of riding, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But for anything gnarly, flat pedals, I think. I
Yeah.
mean, I see some guys I ride with that are super fast,
Mhm.
and they're clipless, but I can't make that commitment, especially on the gnarly stuff.
No, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I just can't
yeah.
do it. Marty's asking, what advice do you have for the fastest way to progress in mountain biking? Example, coaching, riding every day, or whatever.
Well, I think I've never been coached. I think that would probably be great. But
Yeah.
what I've noticed, at least this year coming into the season, is I did a ton of Zwift training over the winter, and just coming into this year, not being out of shape
Mm-hmm.
out of riding shape, I guess, has made a huge improvement. Like, and I've ridden a lot more. Like I used to, like the last 2 years, I'd ride like once a week, and now
Yep.
I am with between Zwift and riding outside, I'm riding 4 or 5 times a
Yep.
week,
Same here.
and it just makes such a world of difference.
How do you
The
like
more you
that? How
ride,
are you liking that Zwift? I you see. I'm in Florida, so I'm able to ride year round. We actually
right,
prefer the winter time,
right,
um, except for the spider webs. But that's a different story. Oh my god. But I don't have a Zwift. I've been checking it out and looking at it. I do my gravel bike and all that. Doing
yeah,
a lot of that. But Zwift is just seems like it's where it's at now.
yeah. I mean, for winter around here, unless you're got a fat bike and you're riding in the snow in really crappy conditions,
Yeah.
and I've thought about getting a fat bike, but I'm honestly just not a fan of riding when it's so cold
Cold.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been using Zwift in my garage, and it's been great. I mean, now that the weather's nicer, I'm finding it harder to do that. I still might do it once or twice a week,
Yeah.
but it is getting harder to do that now that it's getting nicer out.
That's crazy.
But it is good because it does have sort of challenges built into the
You
software to
see, that's
keep you
it seems
motivated.
fun.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if I've seen it, but have you done any live streaming on that yet?
Yeah, I did.
I
I
thought you did.
did the one. There's a the tallest peak, I guess, in Zwift. It's like 1,000 meters. I don't know what that is, like 3,000 feet or something like that in
Yeah.
one climb. And so I did that live stream just because it was pretty brutal, and I kind of wanted some encouragement along the way as I did
Yeah.
it.
How'd
Yeah,
that work out? Did you get a good
yeah, it
showing?
wasn't too bad. I think it took me an hour and 20 minutes or something.
And the whole
Like
thing was
just
a climb?
yeah, it was
Golly, dude.
it was pretty awful.
Yeah.
I haven't done it since.
Maple Flame is saying Zwift is hard to do when it's nice out. You see, that's honest truth, because
Yeah,
that's like actually the main reason I haven't done it, because I really haven't. Now we've had kind of a rainy season right now where it's raining like crazy, and I kind of wish I had it, but even then, when it's nice out, you don't want to use it.
that's right. The Maple Flame was actually one of the guys that was in the live stream
Or your
rooting me
old live
on.
stream. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you actually, we talked about this, but you actually had a little one of these kind of things for a while there, didn't you?
Yeah, we were doing me and another guy, Tyler from Good Trails YouTube channel. He's
Okay.
up in around Toronto area, so he's in Ontario as well. We were sort of doing it was supposed to be bi-weekly sort of live stream podcast thing, talking to some local trail builders or people involved with the local mountain bike scene.
Yeah.
And we did a few episodes. We didn't do as many as we'd planned to, just because, like I was talking to you earlier, it's hard
Yeah.
to get people to commit to this live
It really is.
format.
It is. It is.
And we thought about doing it without it being live, but it is nice having that live stream chat interaction.
That's why I love it.
Yeah,
The people. So.
yeah, yeah. So we did, I think, 2 or 3 episodes, and then we've talked about doing a few more, but I don't know if we are or not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. I just like it's good to get yourself out there and people see you're a real person.
yeah,
That's what I love about this.
yeah.
Um, Everybody, if you're just stopping by, make sure you post a question out, and I'll ask it to Jeff so we can get to know him a little bit better, and you can figure out the whole Toogy Howser, dude.
Yeah. And
Um,
something you just said there is another thing I try to do on my channel is be totally real. Like
yeah.
I'll leave
Hmm.
in mistakes, or especially when because I do some like maintenance and repair stuff on my channel, and I'm kind of going through it as I'm doing it for the first time as well.
Yep.
So if I mess up, I leave it in just to kind of say, here's what I did wrong. Don't do this sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing. And I think people like that.
What do you see on your channel really, really kicking butt right now? What do you see people doing? It's that's kind of a loaded question right now too,
Yeah.
because everybody's stuck inside.
Yeah.
I have videos that we're doing okay, but now they're like kicking butt because people are
Yeah.
stuck inside and they're like, okay, I gotta research this now finally.
Right. That's the thing I kind of I've talked to some people about the channel, and there's certain things that, like some of my most popular videos aren't necessarily even stuff that I like,
Yeah, yeah,
or that I don't even like. My Trek Roscoe videos are still some of the most popular videos on my channel because people are just searching for that.
yeah.
So I'm still getting comments from
My
videos
Trek
I did like a year
Excalibur
ago.
video. Yeah, I did a year
Yeah.
ago. Exactly. My Trek Excalibur video is my biggest video on my channel.
Yeah. So I get tons of people like on a daily basis messaging me about Trek Roscoe questions, and it's fine. I don't care. It's fine, but it's just kind of like I don't even ride it anymore. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I get the same questions. Should I get around here? It's a perfect bike, the Excalibur that I did, because it's
right,
cross country. But I get people are like, well, should I get that or should I get this? I'm like, well, that's two different apples and oranges right there.
right.
It doesn't
Now,
even work anymore.
are you riding that bike, or
No,
what
no.
bike are you?
It was for my bike shop when they get when I'm able to do a demo bike or a review bike, or they have a rental bike that they have, and that they had just gotten that in. They wanted to
Okay,
get some showing of that. And
that's nice.
that bike's actually kicking butt. It's an okay bike. I wouldn't buy it for me specifically, but I do a little bit different type of riding.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
funny,
it's a bike to get into XC if you want to.
right? It's I was just thinking because I know so much about the Roscoe. Obviously, I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, the Roscoe and the Excalibur are the same frame, and they just have different length forks and
Oh,
different components. I'm almost certain they're the same frame. I know that the Roscoe shares the frame with an XC bike in the Trek lineup
it might the Excalibur.
because that's the cheaper
I
one.
think
Like,
no the Roscoe I think matches up with the Marlin. I think
I'm not sure. I thought it was the Excalibur. I know it's not the
maybe it
Pro
is.
Caliber.
No, it's
It
not the
was,
Pro Caliber. The Pro Caliber is the dual suspension, full
yeah.
suspension one. That's a
Somebody's
sick
asking.
one. Uh,
Somebody asked what's better, Trek or Specialized. That's kind of
uh,
like,
apples and that's there's you can't go ahead answer it. Do your best on
well,
that
I
one.
was just gonna say basically any big bike brand
Hmm.
are great.
Yeah.
Like honestly, nowadays,
Hmm.
anything, anybody
Yeah.
is awesome. You
You
kind of just have to
yeah.
go with what maybe you ride and what you like, or
Uh-huh.
if you like certain brands, I mean, they're all amazing.
Yeah. It's gonna be boils down to whether you like Shimano or SRAM or this or
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. So you're writing for kind of an ambassadorship for who'd you say
Da
Da
Vinci.
Vinci. How are you
Yeah.
liking them?
So far, I mean, the Spartan, the long travel 29er has been amazing. I haven't been able to like really push it down some of the gnarly downhill stuff I wanted to
No, is
yet.
that the
Just
hardtail? That's not the hardtail, is it?
no, that's the full suspension
Okay, yeah.
enduro. It's like 170, 165. Like
Awesome.
it's a big monster bike, and it's kind of I'm not utilizing it to its potential so far, just because I haven't been able to.
I saw a
Yeah,
meme. I saw a meme online today, and it showed a small like bobcat tractor,
yeah,
and the shovel was like a excavator's like just like the giant, and and then it posted. My bike's capabilities was the giant thing, and then my capabilities
right.
was. I think we all ride that.
Yeah. But I mean, so far I've definitely ridden some stuff that I would have questioned before,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I have to.
it just takes it no problem. And I feel my previous enduro bike, I had a Giant Rain, uh, and it was a size large, and I'm 6'2",
Okay.
and that was kind of like borderline too small for me.
Was that a 29er or 27 half?
That was a 27 and a half.
Okay, yeah.
So this Spartan is a 29er and an XL
Oh,
size.
really? Okay.
So it's way bigger, but I feel better on it.
See, I ride, I'm 6'3",
Yeah.
and should be riding XL, but my 29er enduro bike is, it's a large.
Yeah.
That
What brand is it?
Kona Process
Okay.
153.
Okay. That's a nice bike. I test rode one of those last year.
I'm more than happy with it. And like you said, you kind of, it's a mental thing with a physical thing. You got, a larger bike that you're more comfortable on, but at the same time, you're more comfortable on it. So your mind's like, okay, I can do this now.
Right.
You came from a hardtail too, right?
Well, yeah, like I started on the Trek Roscoe, then I sort of at some point decided some of the stuff I like doing, I need a full suspension. So then I got the Giant Rain uh,
Yeah.
to ride.
See, I have the
But
same thing.
that bike always just kind of made me feel sketchy
Yeah.
because I felt too small. I felt too big on it, and I had
Okay.
that sort of over the bar feeling a lot.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. You see, when I'm swatting at a gnat. A gnat is flying around here in my light, whatever weird stuff. Okay, I don't even remember what I was gonna say, so we'll just move on forward. Guys, I got Jeff's channel. Let me see if I can. I clicked out, and I shouldn't have clicked out. I have Jeff's channel down in the description below. Make sure you go check it out. Um, Watch some of his videos and check him out. He's got some awesome stuff going on. What do you see basically your channel progressing to? Because you just started it 2 years ago.
yeah,
Okay, you just started it 2 years ago. Obviously, it's progressed significantly from day one to now. Correct? What'd you say?
yeah. I mean, we're almost at 6,000
That's awesome.
subscribers now. It's just been a slow and steady climb. I haven't had any really like huge videos. I've had some bigger videos, but nothing gone viral sort of thing. So it's been sort of a slow,
Yeah.
steady climb, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it's probably going to keep going.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, that's what I want to see. I don't want to just have one video explode for whatever reason, and that's not what I do or,
Yeah.
or whatever, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sort of thing. So I just want people to
Yeah.
subscribe because they like the content and want to be part of it.
Where do you see your channel going? You gonna stick with kind of the POV, kind of the stuff that you're doing right now? Do you see yourself doing that still, or do you see yourself progressing to other stuff?
I'm thinking mainly like I like to do the POV stuff. I'm gonna try to make it a little more produced, like get some different camera angles and stuff like that. It's kind of depends, I think, sometimes on who I'm riding with and where we're riding on whether that actually happens or not.
Yeah.
I find certain people I ride with are more open to the whole YouTube thing, and some other people I ride with, I can usually sense right away when I'm riding with somebody that
Like who's this loser
they
talking to
just
himself in a camera?
right. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just want to ride, and
Uh-huh.
that's fine. And that'll usually just be a POV that I'll put a voiceover
Yeah.
on. Uh, but yeah, I still think I'll be doing POV stuff. I want to do some more, maybe maybe want to call it adventures, but like uh, travels sort of stuff, like maybe taking a van and going down to the States for like a week and kind of documenting the whole thing, um,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And, I was going to hopefully do some races this year. That was going to be new to the channel, and document the
Yep.
whole race experience from somebody that's never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking forward to doing that. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope maybe for this fall, but I'm probably doubting it at this point that it's
Yep.
going to happen.
I had
Yeah.
the same plan. Was gonna post some, do a bunch of races, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So with your channel being kind of a POV kind of thing, do you feel with? I mean, that's all over the place.
Yeah.
And I ask this a lot to people I interview. Do you kind of feel the POV is kind of becoming or do you still see it going strong?
I do. I think it's you have to kind of win people over with your personality, good or bad. I think that's definitely the difference between some videos that or some YouTubers that have tons of subscribers and other people that don't. It boils down to their personality, because their
Yeah.
writing isn't that much different. Some of them aren't the most amazing writers in the world, and that's
Yeah.
fine because I'm not either. But there's something about their personality that people like, and that's what I'm hoping people can relate to me a little bit, and like the videos for that reason. Um, but I know what you're saying. The POV stuff is definitely, everybody seems to want to be doing it now, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to. It doesn't always work, but because there's sometimes I'll go out and do a POV video, and I'll look at the footage afterwards, and I'll be like, and I don't even do
Garbage.
anything. I don't
Yeah.
even do anything with it because
Yeah.
nothing exciting happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was no point of the ride.
Mm-hmm.
I try to now, uh, and sometimes it happens during the ride. Is you kind of come up with, okay, here's what this video is going to be about, like a certain section of the ride, or something. I like it when I have that thought before I go out on the ride, because then I can sort of dictate how I ride based on my idea of what I want to do the video about. And I think that's what differentiates decent POV stuff from maybe not decent POV stuff, is where you have some sort of an idea on what the video is about, like
Yeah.
whether it's you trying to progress on a jump or a drop or a feature, or getting some redemption on something that maybe you didn't do last time you were there, or you're exploring a new trail system and you're kind of showing people the new system, as opposed to just going out and riding the same place you've ridden 5 times already and you're just riding and
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Do you find yourself kind of getting because like your stuff around you is you don't got a lot of gravity stuff. You don't have lift access for like 3 hours. Do you
Right.
find yourself getting kind of bored with recording the same stuff over and over?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like I'll basically, like, there's a loop that I do that's 5 minutes from where I work, and I'll do that
Mm-hmm.
you know, once or twice a week, I don't even bother recording it
Yeah.
because I've done videos of there before and nothing's going to happen that's unless you crash in a creek. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, there you go.
right,
Now you got something new. You can go
right,
go clipless and
right. But I
see what
actually I
happens.
did a video like that. It was going to be like, I'm trying out clipless, but it was honestly, it wasn't that time. It was the time before. And it was just a boring ride.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I was clipped in, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right,
It's the
I'm
same
just
thing.
yeah,
It's the same thing.
yeah.
So I see several. I keep seeing it you post and all of the time. Are these sponsors? SR Sun Tour, and then I got a little screen. Who's on your helmet? I mean, your on your hat. Are
Yeah,
these?
Yeah, I
Is
have
that Da
like,
Vinci? Okay,
yeah, like Da Vinci, SR Sun Tour, um, PNW components,
that's awesome. Oh
uh,
yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and then I mean hand up gloves. I get free gloves. That's about it. But
that's fun.
hey, free gloves are free gloves, right?
Hey, it works.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, and
that's still
yeah. So they're just basically just brand ambassador deals. They're not
okay.
nobody's paying me to do anything, but they're giving me some free product
Okay,
or discounted stuff.
I was gonna give you a chance to shout them out if they
Yeah.
were real big stuff for you. So,
Well, I mean, I appreciate them for sure,
oh, of
and
course.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
same thing here. That's totally cool. So, with your Da Vinci, I mean, is this basically you'd say your dream bike now?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's it's been an awesome bike, and it was actually, I wouldn't say it was maybe a dream bike per se because it was a little bit out of my price range normally.
Yeah,
Like I was riding Giant just because. I mean, I don't nothing bad to say about Giant. They're great bikes, but they're a little more budget oriented usually.
they are. Yeah,
So I was riding the Giant and would have probably stuck with Giant, but Da Vinci, I love their stuff, but they're just a little bit out of range price wise. But with this deal, I was able to get one.
I've literally
Yeah,
only seen. I think I got one buddy that has a Da Vinci. I think that's
yeah,
the only Da Vinci I've seen down here.
yeah. I mean, they're even kind of rare up here, to be honest. Like, you go out to the trails and you're seeing, Santa Cruz or Giant,
Yeah,
especially around here. You're seeing a lot of Giant Specialized Trek, and then you see like the Santa Cruz, um, but
I
barely
yeah.
any Da Vincis.
I seriously didn't see it until Jordan Boostmaster. I
Right.
found Jordan Boostmaster, and then I saw Da Vinci. Oh, that's a cool name of a bike.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How would you think they have what intrigued you about them?
Well, just the fact that they're Canadian and they actually build their frames. They build their aluminum frames, at least in Canada. Um, like my bike is the aluminum build Spartans, and it actually has a stamp right on it, like made in Canada. So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's totally cool. Now, I had a question and I just kind of went blank right there for a second. That's awesome. So I see a guitar back there. Do you
Yes.
are you are you a
Yeah.
musician?
That was sort of my passion before mountain biking. I was in a bunch of bands. Well, I still technically am, but we don't play that much anymore.
You
But
you're very welcome to play a song for us if you want to. Seth from Backyard Trail Builds got what did he get out? He got his guitar and then he got a weird instrument out. So you're very
I
welcome to whip it out and play some.
I don't know if I can play anything off the top of my head. It'd be, I don't know. I don't want to be put on the spot like this. I've seen I've heard his music that Seth does on that channel, and
Yeah.
actually it's pretty good music he does. Like
I think what he said. I think he told me most of the stuff that he has on his like his videos. He did himself.
yeah, I was watching one of his videos, and he had a song come on. I'm like, wow, that's a really unique song. And then I saw in the comments that he wrote and played all the instruments on it and everything. It was like,
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah.
Well, he whipped out this weird looking drum thing that he made,
Oh yeah.
and I don't even remember what he called it. It was yeah, it had like a snare drum and it was a suitcase. It was a
Oh really?
suitcase drum.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I don't know. Chad Kunka, sorry if I'm butchering your last name, buddy. I got a '92 Les Paul Studio.
Yeah, because that's a 2011 Les Paul traditional.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I have a guitar. I can play guitar. I'm not very good at guitar. If you asked me what to play, I would play Creed, and I'm not
right.
about to do any Creed for anybody because I don't want to be shot.
But I
Um,
will. I have a special. I'll show you guys my first guitar I ever bought.
okay,
This will make me look old
yeah,
because it's really retro 1987 style.
perfect.
So let's just
I was
hold
born
on
in
here.
'85.
This is it here.
Oh,
So
is
it's
that
actually
is that
pink.
pink?
Yes, it is.
Oh, dude, that's like amazing.
Yeah, this is 1987. I bought this guitar brand new in 1987.
Oh, you're so old.
I know. I was 13 years old in 1987 and bought this
Dude, that's
because
sick.
I was big into like Poison and Motley Crue and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So yeah, I had to buy this.
that's
And
perfect, dude.
I ended up selling this guitar years ago, uh, and I ended up finding it again on Kijiji for sale about 5 years ago for $20 and bought it back.
Whoa,
And it's totally my guitar. Like I can tell just by like where some of the cracks are on it and stuff that it's my guitar. It's somehow,
whoa, dude.
yeah. I kind of regretted selling it. Like I was like, man, I wish I never would have sold my first guitar.
Yeah.
And then I saw what looked like it come up on Kijiji for $20. It had like no strings on it and was kind of like in really bad shape. This actually isn't really even playable. It just kind of looks cool,
Looks
but
awesome.
but it was kind of cool to get it back.
That'd be like a perfect. It goes with my colors.
Yeah,
As you can
yeah,
tell, I don't like uh, colors at all.
right.
But the pink is awesome, dude. I
Yeah,
would totally rock out a pink mountain bike.
yeah,
Very few people could do that. I would love to have a pink mountain bike.
yeah. That's what I love having colored colors on my bike. My Da Vinci's kind of just gray right now, but it's got some orange accents. But I love colors on bikes. I see a lot of people get these like flat black bikes, and I just don't get it.
No.
Especially when they have another option
Well, I
available.
mean, my gravel bike is a flat gray and black, and I think it looks sick. But I want to do like oil slick stuff all over
Right,
it,
right.
and I
I mean,
have
I got nothing wrong with a black bike. I shouldn't
yeah,
say that. I guess it's maybe when they have a choice
yeah,
and
exactly.
and, and you choose the black one. It kind of seems boring. I don't know.
Some people are not as what's the word? I can't think of the word. More outgoing
Right,
as we can be.
right,
See, I want to do the oil slick all over it, and that's my color.
right.
That's and people will make fun of me. I don't give a flip. That's sick to me. I love the oil slick stuff,
Right.
and it might be overdone in some stuff, but it's kind of cool. What do you have set up on your bike? What's your tech era on your?
Uh, well, like, obviously the SR Sun Tour stuff on there, which has been super awesome. I know sort of a lot of people look at that and go, "Ooh,
They do.
that's
That's the
that's some
low end
entry
though.
level stuff." Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's their high end stuff is pretty comparable, I think, to anything RockShox or Fox
yeah,
is putting out. Um, and basically, I think I'm more of a Shimano fan than SRAM, but my bike does have SRAM Eagle on it, and
yeah.
it's been fine. Uh, I got XT brakes or Shimano XT brakes on it. I think if I budget wasn't a problem and I had the money, I'd probably maybe try the new Shimano 12 speed
Yeah.
setup, but with their micro spline hub situation, it kind of makes it expensive to do that.
What do you think about the box? What's that? Is it a
The Prime 9
yeah?
or it's interesting. I was actually thinking about maybe trying it out. I don't know. I was really gun ho on it a few weeks ago, honestly, but then I came across some thread on the MTBR forum. I don't know if you've ever been on there.
It's
A
been a
bunch of
while.
people having issues with it. So I don't
Really?
know. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you got to take those complaints with a grain of salt because nobody ever goes on the internet and says how awesome things are. They always complain about things.
You see, I was talking to Kevin from Steady Spin, and
Yeah.
I saw him. He raced in the same enduro race I raced
Okay.
in Alabama, and I actually got to see his. And I was asking him. He says it's pretty sick, and he hasn't had any issues with it.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
Uh,
on paper, it seems like a great idea. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
less gears, less finicky, wider like
You
chain.
honestly don't need it. I mean, and even cross country, I don't see a real full need for all those minor itty bitty gears.
Yeah, like I definitely do not need 12 gears. I just like the range, right?
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
my I want my my granny gear,
Yeah.
and I want the highest gear, and I want heck, maybe two middle gears. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't need all that.
Well, there you go. You can come up with your new 4-speed
There we go.
drivetrain.
It's gonna. I don't know what it would be called.
Yeah.
Think of a name for it. Something stupid.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
totally
Actually,
cool.
I actually met Steady Spin or Kevin there
Yeah.
about a year ago. I rode with him down at Bailey Mountain Bike Park in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That guy is he's he's
He's
pumped. He's pumped to ride, and man, you
he
gotta.
is, dude. You don't want to follow him though.
No. I followed him, but I didn't follow him like off of
You
things.
don't want to follow his lines.
Right. Yeah.
What video was he in? He was just in Tonka. Do you watch Mr. Tonka?
Yeah. Yeah.
They went riding, and Joe's just south of me.
Okay.
And he went up and rode with Seth from Seth Bike Axe and
Yeah.
Kev, and he was like, "Hey, Kevin, give me the right lines. Come on, man, give me the right lines." I'm like, "Bro, don't follow Kevin's lines.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a good thing. You're going to end up somewhere else, and he might end there with you. So
Yeah.
that's crazy."
Yeah. I thankfully knew my skill level, and I didn't try anything too crazy when I
Yeah.
was down there.
So
Yeah.
you're liking those XTs?
Yeah. I mean, I'm running the 4-piston XTs on the Spartan, and I actually just 2-piston XTs on my
Really?
hardtail. And I honestly, for everyday braking, can't tell the difference between the two.
Really?
I
Okay.
think maybe on long descents, maybe the 4-piston might be
Yeah,
better,
yeah.
but just for regular braking, they seem pretty comparable.
And you're probably not going to be taking that hardtail out on a long descent.
No,
Yeah.
no. Actually, I
You're
just
hurting.
took the hardtail out yesterday to hit some big jumps with it,
Yeah.
just to do it.
See, I changed mine up. I had some SRAM guide R's or whatever junk
Yeah,
on mine. I switched it to some Aguras. I
yeah,
love those things. Not just
yeah.
because they have cool
I've never
colors,
tried those. Yeah,
but they're grippy,
yeah.
super grippy, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want that sponge kind of
No,
feel.
that's
I want that.
yeah. I like that. I don't know if you've used Shimano XT
I
or
have, and they're sick. I like
So
them.
is it sort of similar feeling, like that sort of on-off
That
feeling?
on off, yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly it, and
yeah, I
that's what I
like that.
wanted.
Yeah,
And I mean, I got the MT5s, so they're kind of the middle of the road. Um, I've heard some bad things about MT6s. I've heard some bad things about MT7s, but MT7s are, I hear, pretty sick. But the MT5s that I have on there they're kick butt. And plus, if you're a guy that likes to make cool colors on your bike, that you can change the little O-rings on the outside. And
okay,
I did it some bright orange, red, pink color, and
nice.
it makes my bike go faster.
Right. So is it? Do they use like mineral oil or dot fluid?
Mineral oil.
Okay, so they're
No.
easy to use.
Yes.
Oh no,
Yes.
maybe.
It's not dot because
Okay,
it's not dot. I think they have their, maybe it is mineral oil, but they suggest you use their brand, like, of
okay.
course.
But are they as easy to sort of bleed as
I have
Shimano?
not bled mine yet.
Okay,
Uh, they were bled right before I put them on. I did not bleed them though. I
okay,
hear they are a snot to bleed. They are terrible, I hear, to bleed. But at the same time, everybody I've talked to who has uh, Magura brakes, they all say, I don't know why people say they're an issue.
yeah,
Supposedly, I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to bleed them
yeah,
sooner or later here soon, so I
yeah.
just need to do it.
Right.
How's the maintenance on your Suntour? shocks?
So far so good. I mean, I haven't really done anything too gnarly, but they make it super easy to work on their stuff, and adjustable too. Like you can both of the forks I have, you can basically adjust the travel between like 40 millimeters of range. You can do it in like 10 minutes. Just take out the
Whoa.
lowers, take out the negative air spring, and there's like just some clips in there. You just take them out or add them and then put it back together, and you've just increased or decreased your travel.
You see, that's super cool to be able to do, but do you
Yeah.
find yourself needing to do that though?
Well, I
Because that's what separates me. I have what do I have? Yaris. I have
yeah,
the RockShox Yaris. I love them.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but and I have the upgraded all the stuff inside of it.
yeah.
But I don't know because I can
Well,
I can drop mine down to I think it's at 160. I can drop it down to 150 if I want to, but I
right.
don't see.
I know with RockShox because I had the Yari before on my
Hmm.
Rain, and I bumped it up to 170. And in order to do that with RockShox, you pretty much have to replace the whole spring.
Yeah.
Uh, so Suntour makes it so easy that I've actually, when I set up the bike originally, my hardtail was at 140. I dropped it down to 130 because I was just riding it on the roads. And then yesterday I bumped it up to 150 because I took it to do some big jumps.
Yeah.
So it only takes me 10 minutes to do. I've already changed the travel on it 3 times so far this year. So
That's
yeah,
cool. That's
yeah,
cool. Yeah, you just get they have a bad name to them, and
yeah.
people are like, oh, you got
I
Suntour. That's our
I know. I
Suntour.
mean, I really do like the products and I love dealing with the guys there, but I sometimes wonder if they'd be better off to go the approach sort of like the what is it TRP brakes have done. Like TRP brakes is Tektro,
Yeah,
and
Tektro.
you
Yeah,
you see Tektro brakes and you're like, eh, but
yeah,
you
it
see
is.
TRP brakes and you're like, okay, they're all right,
Yeah,
but they're the same company. So
I
it's
didn't
like
even think
you
about that.
think maybe SR Suntour would be better off to maybe rebrand their higher end stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be. And you see, what's the other brand that has a bad? Is it X Force? What is it? What's the other shock company?
Oh yeah, I can't
It's the
remember X
shock. It's the
Fusion or
X
something.
Fusion.
Yeah.
They have some, their low end stuff is pretty janky and whatnot, but their high end stuff is pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean SR Sun Tour there got like World Cup, like Tracy Hanna World Cup women's champions running SR Sun Tour.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean it's decent stuff for sure.
that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Now, you have it on the front and the rear.
Yeah, yeah, I'm running their Duralox fork, which is like 36 millimeter stanchion, so like similar to like a Fox 36.
That's totally cool.
Fork on the front and their tri-air shock on the rear, and yeah, it's been great. Super easy to adjust, and
That's awesome. So, change the subject. It's just a smidge. We got about 10 more minutes on here. Thanks for
yeah.
everybody coming on. But for someone, I like to ask this question and get different answers. For someone that is just starting out, I mean, you've been, hardcore into the mountain biking for about 2 years, same as me. What advice would you give someone that is started today, wants to get in, is thinking about it, or has just started? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would honestly take anything they could get as far as a mountain bike and go ride. Uh, I think sometimes people get into it and they start obsessing over bikes and upgrades. And I even know myself when I got the Roscoe, it was winter time, so I bought the bike and it was just sitting there and I couldn't ride it. And all I was doing was looking on the internet and reading about how the fork sucked on it and how this wasn't good on it and that wasn't good on it. I hadn't even ridden the bike yet, and I replaced the fork and the drivetrain and the brakes. And people say, "Well, how much better is that than it was stock?" And I couldn't even answer them because I didn't even give it a chance. So I think sometimes you just got to ride whatever you have and find out what you like, what kind of riding you like to do. And I wish I would have maybe not spent all that money upgrading the Roscoe and bought something else. I don't know. I mean, it was fun process and it made good videos and stuff, but I think yeah, just maybe get out and ride anything you can ride and get hooked into mountain biking and figure out what you like about it before worrying about upgrading and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of a rabbit hole you can get sucked into quickly.
Yep, yep. The upgrades are money pit can be a money pit. You get
Yeah,
a cheap bike that you could just save up your money and get a even better bike, but you want to
right.
put stinking oil slick parts on it.
Yeah, yeah. Like somebody asked me once, like how much was that Roscoe by the time you did all the upgrades? And I was like, literally, I do not want to add it up. Like
Oof,
I refused to do it, and
oof.
I never did because I didn't want to know how much I actually spent
Oh,
putting everything on it.
that bites.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm yawning. I don't know why.
yeah,
That's crazy, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, I had the Diamondback Mason too, and I did a couple upgrades on that. I didn't spend much money, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm glad I didn't spend a bunch of money because I wouldn't have gotten the bike I have now.
Yeah, like I look at my sort of my progression that I did. Like when I first started, I had no idea what kind of riding I'd like or anything or who I'd end up riding with. And I ended up sort of meeting some guys that were into gravity riding and downhill and sort of falling in love with that. And you know, it would have maybe been better to not spend the money upgrading the Roscoe and use that money towards getting, a bike for that, which I
Yeah,
ended up doing. I ended up doing anyways, but I kind of had to get a
you could have gotten a better one.
right. I had to get like a budget model just because I'd spent so much money already. Um, and plus, once you get into downhill and stuff, you're talking like full face helmet and pads and everything else. It's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing I want to say to people getting into this sport is the price of the bike is like it's a big chunk. Don't get me wrong, but there's so much else you kind of need to that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm. You need to
You
get
know,
a good helmet.
right?
Don't skimp out.
All your clothes. Even like air pump or tools, or
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a rabbit hole.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, with your channel, I don't recall. Do you have a? I like to ask this question. Do you have a closing statement, or I forget what it's called. A closing,
Yeah. Like a
a
tagline sort of thing.
tagline. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say keep your feet on the pedals.
Keep your feet on the pedals. Okay.
Yeah.
And where'd you come up with that?
It's kind of a Canadian. You probably I don't even know if you've heard of the show. It's called the Red Green Show. It's
Yeah, I
like
have.
yeah, and he always said at the end of the show, keep your stick on the ice.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a play on that, like keep your feet on the pedals.
Oh, the Red Green Show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so that would come on TV when I was a kid, like late at night.
Yeah, like it was like a CBC like
Yeah.
Canadian broadcast show.
With duct tape and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. He would
Yeah.
duct tape his whole garage door and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've forgotten that whole movie, that whole show.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, man, kind of give me an idea. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Brain completely wiped.
Yeah.
Completely like right there. You just saw my brain just go completely empty right there. See, Maple Flame is saying the handyman special tool was duct tape. That's
Yeah.
totally cool. Well,
Yeah, that's what was I think Red Green would always say something like if you don't find your man attractive, at least he's handy or something like that or
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Well,
Yeah.
dude, I appreciate you so much for coming on
Yeah.
here. I had a blast, and everybody that is new to Jeff's channel, Toogy Howser, I have his link posted down below in the description. I'll share this video out and everything, and hopefully we can get you some. I know we didn't have a huge number of viewers today, but we'll get some people watching this, and hopefully you can get some new peoples to your channel.
Yeah, sounds good. Like I
Now,
said,
so
I post a new video every Thursday
okay,
at 7 p.m. Eastern time,
awesome.
and I've had that streak every week since I started. So
That's
that's the
perfect.
plan. Yeah,
That seems like the way to go.
yeah,
Have that consistency and just work it that way.
yep,
Well, I appreciate it again, and hope everybody enjoyed. And if you like check out Toogy Howser's YouTube channel, see what you like on there, and give him a subscribe, give him some likes and everything. And enjoyed it tonight. So, like I say every single time, guys, make sure you lift up God, lift up life, lift up the adventure. Get out there, make your own adventures. Go check out Toogy Howser, and I'll talk to you guys later. God bless. And I hate this part, hitting the end. The end. There we go.